So today's topic is improving empathy in H&A or any other service organization. So we have a few people who may be in groups and few people who might have joined on their own PCs. Those of you who joined early, one specific request I have from you. What is your expectation today? You can unmute and speak. Alternatively, you can put it in the chat. All those who joined in time, share your expectation today. What do you expect from this session? We'll take 2 minutes for that. Yeah, you can unmute and speak or put it in the chat. I'm not seeing anybody sharing. To learn something new. Okay. That's little broad, but okay. Okay, one of the good qualities of being a leader, he would learn, Srinivas Kadri. Good. Different ways to improve empathy. Lakshman, that means you have an idea about what empathy is, how he can improve it better. Very good. Anybody else who joined in time? All of you can give your comments. Learn and understand how can be more empathetic towards clients and colleagues. Good. What empathy is and how to inculcate. Vidyasagar, good. Kavyashri, good. Okay. Thank you for that sharing. I'm sure all these questions will be answered in the discussion. Niklesh says it would make me a better leader if I understand empathy. Okay. Abita says what H&A as a family is aiming for improving empathy towards each other, clients and general society in general. Certainly this would be covered, Abita. Thank you, all of you. So first I will go through what others say about empathy. Albert Einstein, you know, one of the greatest inventors in the world till today. He says empathy is patiently and sincerely seeing the world through other person's eyes. And it is not something we can learn in this one session. It is to be cultivated over a lifetime. My own life till I was 40, 42 was zero empathy for anybody. Almost zero. Means I would say once in a way that I understand what you're saying and would understand, but that would be only 5–10%. Once I got this point that empathy is necessary, it took a lot of time, and even today I should say I am only about 30% empathetic. That is because I did not build this virtue or character well in advance. I built it only late in my life. And obviously because of that, my success also got delayed in general, in my personal life as well as in the profession. So to that extent, what Albert Einstein says is correct. I am still in work in progress as far as empathy is concerned. Many times I am not able to break my old habit of not being empathetic. John Colony, who is a famous author, he observes the nature of humanity, its essence, is to feel the other person's pain as one's own. Not only to know, one is to know, next is to feel, and to act to take that pain away. We'll understand these 3 levels of empathy a little later when we look at what types of empathy we can have. One is I understand and say, okay, let me sit in Vignesh's shoe. When I speak to him, I just think, okay, what is he going? What may be his way of looking? The next is feeling. Say he comes and sits in front of me. I feel that today he's a little worried or today he's a little happy. Then I feel that feeling which he has also I am able to get. So it's not only the verbal, the verbal clues you can look at, and we can come to know, okay, this person is happy, not happy, eager, anxious. All these emotions actually you can see it in them and then feel it so that you are with them. And the last part is called compassionate empathy, which is the ultimate as far as empathy is concerned. We all would like to be people with compassionate empathy, and then being a leader is very easy in my understanding. That's why John Colony says, and to take the act to take that pain away. So whatever I can do to support that person's difficulty, if there is any pain or any challenge, is what is ultimate in empathy. One, sitting in somebody's shoes. Second, feeling what they are feeling. And third, taking action to support to get rid of that challenge or pain. This is a famous TV celebrity, I would say, throughout the world, Oprah Winfrey. She has hundreds of shows, must be a billionaire. She says high compassionate empathy for client and people be the first priority. For the next decade, this is what she says. Actually, she says people, I have added clients because we are also looking not only at our family life, our social life, we are also looking at professional life. And priority, she says, first priority. From then I have added for next decade with high one-to-one engagement with client and staff. For example, if I have to have compassionate empathy with my partners or specific partner, I cannot do it long distance. I cannot do it only whenever I feel I have the time. I should do it in a one-to-one interaction as far as possible physically. Otherwise, in a VC without any disturbance with video being on both sides. Same thing will apply for clients also. What she says, I am putting exactly. Leadership is about empathy. Many of you said you want to become a better leader and be empathetic to do that. It is having the ability to relate to and connect with people for the purpose of inspiring and empowering their lives. So the purpose of this session also is somewhat related to empathy. Those who have high empathy, after this session, they may be motivated to have higher empathy. Those who have less, like me, may like to keep on doing things in such a way that empathy increases, their empathy quotient increases. Now I want to understand, or though all of us can understand, do I lack empathy? So I will go through a list of situations which I have listed. Then all those of you who are listening can tell me, share on the chat or unmute and speak and tell me or us where they think they lack empathy. Let's look at it. These are the questions we have to ask ourselves to know whether we are having enough empathy or not. For example, I will take each of this and see whether it applies to me. You can also look at it that way. Each of you can do your own evaluation. If you can note it down, it's fantastic. Do I have constant friction with people in my life? If I look at this, the answer would be I do have some friction with some people in my life. So I am maybe, as I said, I am work in progress in improving myself, but knowing this is very important. So if I have empathy, obviously the friction will not be much. Do I have many meaningful relationship? I would say here I have been blessed or lucky. I have a large number of meaningful relationship with many people. It may be people in office, partners in office, chartered accountants in office. It can be the articles in Bangalore, maybe outside Bangalore, only a few. Do I always stick to my beliefs? This is a very important question for people who think they are always right or mostly right. And I fall into this category also. I stick to my beliefs a bit more. I have learned a few things to improve my empathy, which we'll look at later. Do I interrupt the others while they are speaking? So this is also something which managers, people who are in a higher position do very often. Even partners do. They'll say sorry to interrupt you, and then they will say what they want to say. Can I interrupt you? They say the way they say, can I interrupt you is I am interrupting you. Do whatever you want. That is not the way it should be. So ideally, you should give enough time, unless, of course, the person speaking to you is speaking nonsense. Am I excessively critical? If I have to ask about, I have to tell about this particular question, I would say I'm quite critical. So I am actually in all these aspects 1 to 4, except 2, everywhere I am less than 50%. Do I find it difficult to see the good in others and give compliment? I can see the good in others and give and see what they are worth, where they are better than me, better than others, exceedingly good, only if I apply my mind. So the more I apply my mind about the other person, I find more good things about them. Maybe one of the things we do is to note down the good things about each and every person with whom we are in contact. Second, give compliment. I see that Somya is very hardworking. Monica is very bright, but I keep quiet. I don't share that compliment. That is also not a good thing. So here I would say that maybe I'm about 60%. Next point is very important, especially with clients. Am I thinking of a response while the other is speaking? If I'm doing that, many of us do it. What am I going to reply to this person? I'm already thinking when he's speaking. So can I hear him? Can I listen to him? Can I understand him or her? Very difficult. When I have my own conversation happening in my head, I'm likely to miss what the other person is saying. So this is a very important lesson I learned in 1995 when I went for a training program by one Professor Murli of IIM. And after that, I made a effort to see that any important meeting, even with a friend, I will listen to them more. If they say, Madhukar, I'm in real trouble, then I keep quiet and keep on understanding what is his problem rather than coming to, oh, he can do this here, he can do that there. Listen to that entire conversation so that I understand where he's coming from, where she is coming from. So now I'm going to ask all of you in these examples which I have mentioned, not only these examples, there can be other examples on this question of whether I lack empathy. Can the audience give some examples they observe in others or they observed in themselves in 1 to 7? Please come on the chat or you can even unmute and speak. I will pick one from each of the alphabets. Anjali Rati. Anjali Rati, can you unmute and speak or put in chat? Answer to that
Yes, sir.
question. Yeah.
Yes, sir. My issue is that I think of response while talking to someone else.
Yeah, many of us do, and most of us do that. So this is something you can try and improve by looking at how to listen better. And there is an article on our website also, empowerment. Thank you very much, Anjali, for frankly sharing with us. Okay, we'll go to B. Bhanumati.
Hello, sir. My issue is sixth one. I do have some difficulty picking compliments because I don't usually speak with everyone.
Okay, yes, this is also something which is because of the environment. All of us come from environment where our parents are protective about us. They say, don't do this, don't do that. Faults are found very easily in general, not only in India, across the world. It's easier to find fault with somebody rather than look at the good in somebody. So one of the ways we can do this to improve it, Bhanumati, is You can keep a notebook, and whenever you see all the people around you, you can first write and leave around 4 spaces. Everybody's name you can write. Whenever you see something good in them, it may be small, big, don't bother. Whatever it is, just write it down. And you'll find after about a year, you possibly will not have any difficulty in seeing good in anybody you meet within 2 minutes. This is what will happen. Very good.
Thank you, sir.
Mahadev? I don't know how the names are not coming in order. Mahadev?
Yes, sir. Yeah. One more example which I can think is many a times through our body language or through our statements itself, we try to dominate others. Say somebody wants to share.
Mahadev, my request is mine, not we. Don't involve me and all of us, only you. What is it you think where you lack empathy or some instances where you have observed it in others? So first tell us whether you are speaking about yourself or others.
This is others.
Okay. So tell me what you said.
Sometimes through body language itself, I have seen people dominating others. So it discourages the other person. Say the other person, it could be junior or the client himself. So he wants to share something important, but we discourage them. So there we lack empathy sometimes. That is what I have observed.
No, that is a clear lack of empathy. There's not some, it is not less, it is more only. Nikita?
I think the fourth point, sir. I think the fourth point is.
Okay. Yeah.
That is.
Yeah. One thought process you can consider, Nikita, is the people who talk to you, they can teach you something, whoever they are. They may be your seniors, juniors, colleagues. You can think from a point that I can learn something from each and every person in my life. If you do that, then little less likely that you'll interrupt others. And in case you interrupt, say tomorrow or day after when you interact with somebody, tell them, sorry, I interrupted you, please go ahead. If you say that sorry to about 10 people, after that you'll find you're interrupting people when they are speaking would critically come down. Thank you for sharing that, Nikita.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Rishabh?
Yes, sir. Hello.
Yeah, tell us.
Sir, actually, this is like when you're doing some work and
Are you talking about me or yourself, Rishabh?
No, I'm talking about myself, sir.
Okay, when I am doing
sometimes
some work.
what happens? Yeah, sometimes what happens, like when I'm doing some work and I'm doing in some way and some other person wants me to do in some other way, without caring about my ideas or not, implementing his ideas is something I feel like violating the empathy here.
Okay, good. Jatin?
Hello. Am I audible, sir?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, sir. Sir, I feel I interrupt others while they are speaking. I'm trying to improve on it, but yes, I'm still lacking.
Good. I gave some ideas just now on interrupting others.
Yes.
What was that? Which does it apply to you?
Yes, sir.
What is that? What applies to you?
Sir, learning from others in life.
That should be a presumption. For example, the person who cleans our office in Bangalore, Selvi, we can learn from her also. She goes through so many difficulties in life, but normally she hides any of the difficulty and she's positive. She has gone through lots in life and she's still going through lots of bad things in life. But that attitude is something I would respect and try to learn from. Okay, good. Thanks for all the people who have shared. Anybody who wants to share can put on the chat so that for the benefit of others, I will go ahead anyway. So let's look at some of the other questions which are there, other instances. So are we distracted by calls, people coming into the room when we are having a VC or a call with the client or even a physical meeting with the client? I get a call, I say sorry, and I attend to the call. What is the client thinking? First, it's an interruption to the discussion. He may have to repeat some of the things because you would have forgot. I would have forgotten. Second, it will also mean a disrespect for him. He may not like that sort of thing being done. At most, we can say, I will just take the call and ask the person to call another time, or I will take the call and tell them I'll call back. Many of you have ways of giving the notification. The moment the call comes, you can choose one of the options and send it to the person. This would be one of the things which many of us do unconsciously, but this is what is the impression on the client. The distraction leads to a thought that this fellow doesn't have concern for me, or this lady doesn't have any concern for me. Now you are having I am having a meeting with Asha, and while I am having a meeting, I am a senior partner and she is qualified at Kolkata. So I don't put my video on at all. I just speak to her. She keeps putting her video on and speaking, and I don't. There's a lack of empathy here, and she can feel it. So it need not be only client. It can be within the office, with the staff, with juniors, with seniors, and that's why you'll see, unless there is a training session where somebody else speaks, my video is always on, and there are 1 or 2 people in our office also who keep the video always on. Other than in training session where you are not expected to distract the person, other speaker. The next is, are we blaming the client staff for lack of response? Are we not understanding that they have their own jobs to do? We are auditors. They think they have done their job perfectly. Now we are coming and verifying. It's not that we are not doing anything important, but from that staff's point of view, we are an intrusion into his time. Maybe he has to leave 15-20 minutes late because of that particular time we take of his. We ask them for giving some files. It will take half an hour to find them. So when they don't find it, we feel that they are doing a big mistake and we start blaming, or in our report we put that we have several times we have asked for the information we have not got. This is a distinct lack of empathy. One more point is, we are here to serve. All of us here are professionals. We want to become extraordinary professionals. Some of us are on the way, some of us are started. We have just started our journey. Even if we are in administration, we are in HR, anyway. For example, I remember in 2010, I was in the exam committee of the Institute of Chartered Accountants, and I was sitting for almost 2 days with the secretary. Joint secretary was the head of the exam department, and that person was so arrogant. Any calls come, he used to snap at the students. So 3 times I kept quiet. 4th time I told him that, who pays your salary? I asked him. He said, sir, I asked him, who pays your salary? He said, ICI. I said, ICI pays your salary. Who pays ICI? He said, members. I said, members don't pay ICI. They are subsidized. And then he said, students. So the person who's paying salary to you, is this the way you're speaking to him? Was a question I asked him. He was stunned actually. And I said, if you're going to speak like this, please resign. You're already old enough, your PPF is there. Go and snap at anybody, but not at the people who are your annadatas. Very important thought process, not that I myself do it every time. Next point, which is very important, is wherever we are, even in our mails, we cannot simply, send a one-line mail waiting for your response. You can say, thank you first of all for supporting me in continuing this review audit. We had asked for this. We understand. I understand that a lot of work is there. Please let me know how I can support you in getting the information which is needed for the audit. Now, when you say this, what happens is you create an atmosphere of empathy with that staff member. After that, you will find they will give you the required information in spite of being, stressed, in spite of being busy. Whenever we start or end a email, we should acknowledge them for the opportunity to grow. All of us grow when we do audit, when we do opinions, when we litigate. Also, in the end, say you have got all the information, you should say thank you so much for the extremely good support you gave us, and I'm sure this will help us to do the job better. Sometimes they are going through some bad times, you can make out. At that time, it doesn't mean that you ignore their challenges totally. Of course, we cannot go and solve their challenges, but at least we can let them know that we understand that they're going through challenges. Maybe they're going through some difficulty in office. They have been told to leave. The boss is extremely strict. You can understand that. And maybe we cannot pass value judgments on others, but we can say we understand where you are. The next one is something which is specific to me itself. Is there impatience in our tone of communication? When somebody doesn't do what I expect or doesn't do it in the expected time, I find I make this mistake quite commonly. There's an impatience in my tone itself. Mahadev also mentioned this. Maybe he meant me only and others. There is a tone in my communication that, I'm not happy with what you're doing. Why are you doing this, man? Again and again. The words may not be so bad, but the way I say it may be very bad. One more thing in empathy is that, which was brought to my attention about me about 10 years back by Sudhir sir. He said, Madhukar sir, you say many things, then you forget it. There are so many commitments you make, but you forget it. We know you forget it, so we don't bother. But that leaves a very bad impression on us. So maybe it is to do with office, maybe it is to do with our family. We'll tell them, yeah, this certainly I will do it for you. Then we coolly forget about it. And when they remind, oh, sorry. That sorry is also only mechanical. Oh, sorry, I'll do it. And then again, you don't do it. The moment I don't do it again, then that person who has complained or who has told me that I'm forgetting promise will never respect me or depend on me again until he learns otherwise. So we would like to take some more. The people who had already shared can keep quiet. And can we take others? Maybe I'll call the names again because we don't want to spend too much time. Asha, Jane, anything which you think is something which what we have said is applicable or something new?
Sir, I shared it on the chat already. Being ignorant of the people or the things that are going around.
Wonderful, wonderful. Gayatri?
Sir, like not giving proper space to others.
Wonderful. That's a new thing. Yeah. Please tell me. Tell us.
For example, they might be wanting peace at the time, but we want to we want the things which we say to be done by them, but they might not be at that space at that time, so we'll not give proper space to others.
Wonderful. Sonali?
Yes, sir.
Please.
Sir, I think if I do not get the chance to express my thoughts in my way.
What happens then?
Sir,
if
it feels
not able
bad.
To express, yeah.
It feels bad if you do not get a chance to express your thought.
So what? That means the other person doesn't have empathy.
Yes, sir.
We are asking where you feel you do something where you may be lacking empathy. That's what we are trying to arrive at. Are there instances which we have also gone through maybe about 10 or 12 instances which I couldn't note down. Can you think of something, Sonali?
Sir, it may be when we are doing work
Not
and
we.
we are
I.
okay. It may be something when I'm doing some critical work and I do not get the input from the team that at that time I may lack empathy.
Then your behavior will lack empathy. When you don't get something from your team, that time you possibly require compassionate empathy, look at their challenges, feel their pain, express that you understand where they are, and then maybe the response will be far, far better. So in that instance, your response to such a situation may lack empathy. Good.
Yes, sir.
Bade Ravindra? Ravindra? Are you there? Just check later, Vignesh, whether Bade Ravindra was there, otherwise mark him absent. Adumbar?
Sir, I kept on short, sir. Sir,
yeah.
I kept it on short.
Tell me.
Sir, normally I blame when clients staff for lack of response, sir, because it's my lack of empathy, I think, no, I think, sir. Because I do not have that patience or that.
Okay. Yeah, impatience is there.
Yes,
okay.
Impatience, sir.
Good. Adumbar?
Hello? Yes, sir.
Yeah, tell me.
Sir, sometimes when I do very good work for the client, and that time the client will not give the positive feedback for that. So that time I feel the lack of empathy for you.
So what Adumbar is talking about is having high expectation of the client to give compliments. So the question you can ask yourself, Adumbar, is how much of compliment do you give? How much of compliments, how many times you have complimented the clients or the client staff for the effort they have put?
Sir, means we sometimes give means a good
Not
solution
we,
for
I.
that.
I.
Sorry, sir, I will give the very good solution by researching all this aspect of that particular kind of assignment. But such time, client will not take much about interest in that.
Forget
So
about
that's
client. Adumbar, sorry. My question was, how many times do you compliment clients? How many times you have complimented clients till now? 100, 500?
Sir, many times. I'm not countable, sir. Many times it happened.
So what do you say to the client? Till now, I have heard only complaints against clients.
No, sir. I've not said anything about to the client.
No. What do you tell the client? You don't tell anything, is it?
No, sir. I kept in myself.
That is the point. So why do you expect the client to have a different view? When you don't compliment others, how can you expect the others to compliment you? This is just a thought process for you, okay? Maybe you have to start complimenting people, looking for the good in other people. Then they will also do the same. I'm just giving you a view, okay?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Ashwath Jain.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
So sometime I get work from my senior, but I didn't complete it work in time.
So
at that time I feel that I can't do the work in time.
So what is the empathy?
So I sometimes I promise my senior that I will do my job on time, but I can't able to do for some time.
It is can't able to do is very bad English. It should be I was not able to do. Okay.
Yes, sir.
You can note it down and correct it in future. Otherwise, lifetime you'll make the same mistake. Many people on the stage make the same statement what you are doing, but you can do what in this particular case. It is knowing that you're making a mistake, you have not kept your promise. You can always do that, rectify it or make the situation better by being transparent about it. This is the amount of effort I put, but I was not able to complete. Can I take another 2 hours to complete this or another 1 day to complete it? You can ask, you may get fired. It doesn't matter. You are doing the right thing. So we'll go to the next. Rasika says not giving opportunity for reasons behind non-compliance or not meeting deadlines. Kokila says impatient sometimes, but trying to overcome this by giving opportunity to self and others. Impatience in voice when they do not meet. Lakshman says understanding others. Sometimes I presume what is priority to me is also priority for the other person. Very good thought process, Lakshman. Where is Anamika Das? Nothing, no response also. Okay, we will go further. We cannot wait. Next question which I have for you all is how empathy can be advantageous, to various sectors who are there in your life. 5 sectors can be there for us. In our personal life, as a team in the office, as an office itself, as a professional, that is, as a professional, H&A, what can it get advantage as a citizen of this world? So can we think about this, and those of you who have an idea, tell the advantage which can be there if we have empathy. You heard something about empathy now. You might know a lot about empathy already. So please share one particular advantage. We'll take around 2-3 minutes for this, then we'll go ahead. You can put it in the chat also. How empathy can be advantageous to you, to the team, to the profession, to our office, and to the citizens of the world, or as a part of that.
Sir,
can I have some sharing, please?
Sir, to me, I can build a good relationship with others, sir, in my life as
Fantastic.
a person.
Megha Jain, better relationship with people, build good relationship, build relationship with people in all facets of life. Office culture can get enhanced. Certainly, we can attract good talent. Better teamwork will result in everybody being happy. Very good. Makes the other person comfortable to share their concerns and you can support them to overcome. Very good. Good work environment, build good social connection, Namrata, good. Makes people feel they are being heard and their opinion is important in the very, very important. This is very important. Most of the people in life go through without getting any validation of their effort. More peace with yourself, Veena. Help to see others' perspective, bring workable solution faster with minimum friction, not to mention make the world a better place. Nayan Sharma, very good. You're a wonderful guy, yeah? Ready to take over new office. Understand the version of opposite office, opposite person, very good. So it gets your work done in a cordial way for others and also develops good relationship. My only suggestion is it helps to get my work done. Whenever you say such things, it should be in your perspective. Can understand other people's thoughts and feelings from their point of view, build strong relationship. World would be a better place and we would have, I missed where it went off, sorry. Can understand another person's thought and feeling from their point of view, strong relationship. When we have empathy, world would be better off. Give someone get more confident. Yes, both will be confident. To each of us in life, more pleasantness. To team, greater relationship. To an officer, good rapport. She's talking about departmental officer also. You can have empathy. To the profession, you will be looked at as a problem solver, not a person who creates problem. It helps us to trust others and helps us to see similarities in others rather than differences in them. Pravalika, please replace us with mine. It helps me to trust others. It helps me to see similarities like that. Get work done in peaceful and satisfied way. It can help build relationship, enhance broad thinking. It makes me more disciplined. Very good. Empathy allows me to connect with other people by taking their perspective, sharing, feeling compassion. Very good. Anamika Das finally on the board. Make good relationship with everyone. Ramya makes us understand co-worker. Makes again Ramya makes me understand, makes me better. Also makes them happy spending 8-9 hours in office with me. Broadens our approach, broadens my approach towards life and situation. Giving importance to another person's thought process and build relationship strongly. I would be more grounded. Very good. Broadens my horizon, learn from others. Fantastic. Win-win situation for each. Actually, it can be win-win-win-win. 4 wins can be there if you're empathetic. The environment, the people who deal with you win, the client wins, the profession wins, and the country wins. Minimum 5, it could be even 10. Wonderful sharing by everybody. I will go ahead. Asha Jain, again, I think this you mentioned earlier, or okay, have a fulfilling life for the first question. Excellent team and coordination, bonding, great work environment, initiator of positive changes, fantastic. Gopinath says motivates, helps cooperation of individuals to overcome the negative. Again, your Gopi, you're talking about somebody else or yourself? Gopi? Because you have not used I or they or anything, so I don't know what you're telling.
So can you ask, sir, for others, sir?
Okay. I would suggest, Gopinath, you look at yourself. Don't look at what is wrong in others. Look at what is the area where I can improve. Okay, it's only a suggestion for you. As long as I look for mistakes in others, I will never grow. So we can look at that way. Let me take the next slide. How do we improve this? Now again, I'm going to tell you some tips, but there will be many more. So one of the ways to improve empathy is have regular interaction on aspects other than work also. For example, if my team is there, maybe I like to take them on Saturday, that is today. After all the sessions, we have a group lunch. Maybe I have to pay something for that, or we'll go on sharing basis. Depends who is there with me. Juniors are there, maybe I like to pay. Whatever it is, the idea is need not be for lunch also. You can just have a coffee and discuss something which is not related to office. Imagine their challenges. Everybody comes with limitation. I come with a set of limitation. You come with a set of limitation. There's nobody in this world who doesn't have limitation. We also have our own priorities. So what is the priority which can be there for Megha Jain? I can look at, and then maybe I can deal with her. The way I communicate with her will be much, much better. If I don't know, I can even ask them. If I find somebody is a little disturbed, I can call and ask. Normally they'll say nothing, sir, I'm okay. Probe a bit. Maybe I can help you. What is it? Is it something very personal you wouldn't like to share? They may say yes, then leave it. Beyond that, we are not going to do. In many situations, especially after some 25, 30 and all that, intuition starts. You can intuitively know what's going wrong with the other person. And take care of their need. There's a challenge, meet it. So that you can make that person's problem itself go away. So you are in ultimate stage of compassionate empathy. If you are a leader, lead by example by being caring and trustworthy. If people tell you something and you say something, you'll do it. They know it. They respect you for it. They care back to you. They give that care back to you. You trust somebody, they cannot betray you. Provide different perspective or alternative solutions for their consideration. I should not say this is your problem, Monica. You do this. That may not land properly. Is it possible that this can be a thought process or this can be a thought process? What do you think? Are there any other possibilities? That may be easier for them to own and do. Somebody already talked about it. about the next one. Deliberately avoid being judgmental while listening to them. Many a times the past clouds the present. It's a very, very difficult thing to do, this F, because if somebody has consistently not done well, then we start from that point only. We can at least for that conversation put that point aside about past, unless the past is very good. If it is positive, then you can remember the past, otherwise try not to remember the past at all. What are the other things I can do to improve empathy? I can support the filling up of knowledge, skill gaps of the client staff by sharing it and directing them to the resource. Rather than telling them everything, I can tell them, yeah, I think chapter in the compendium book, if you look at that chapter, there is one section talking about registration notices. Why don't you go and look it up? Or there's a good article written by maybe Abhay Desai. It's there in LinkedIn. Go ahead and have a look at it. On our own site, we have so many articles. One of those articles may be giving that solution. Don't give him or her the solution. Tell them you can look at that. Support them, and then they will get pride in solving it rather than getting something without any effort. One more way is validating their emotions and feeling. Oh yes, I have gone through this many times in my own life. I understand you are having some challenges. Exams are coming near. You're getting stressed. How do you manage your time? Whatever it is, validate their feelings and emotions. That brings the high level of empathy. Regularly give genuine feedback, not complaints. Give genuine feedback with the objective of improving service delivery. That I'm talking about office. Care to be taken not to take advantage of an empathetic person in the organization or known person. This sometimes we take people for granted. Not a very great idea, and everybody on this call will come to know when they are taken for granted. Nobody's cannot get it. They'll get it. And once you're taken for granted, you may not look at the other person in a very nice way. One thing we have to always have in mind, we are here because of our clients. Our clients are our annadatas. And if we have no outside clients, our internal departments are our annadatas. They provide us the opportunity of serving them and for growing ourselves. One of the easy ways to improve empathy is to smile and show respect to all clients personal. Of course, it need not be clients personal. This particular thing I wrote with looking at getting proper response from clients, but it can be for anybody. Say Kokila comes and I look at her and say grrr, then she's already not going to help me possibly as much as she comes, I smile at her and say, oh yeah, good morning, and I smile at her. Then she smiles back, and then maybe she's in a much better position. So I can improve my empathy with her. Let's look at some more. Can I acknowledge and give credit? I think there are a lot of authors, motivators who say this is something which is very easy to do, but we have to do it in a proper way. That means first we have to list it out if we are not finding difficulty. What is it in this person which is good? Don't give false. Oh, you are looking beautiful when she's not or he's not. Too many calls today. Normally I don't get any call. Today I'm getting. Own their problem as yours while being independent and professional. Don't lose the integrity. Your own integrity and independence should not go. What is this? 1 minute. I am having always some technological challenges. We have talked about emails already. Be vulnerable. If you don't understand what is vulnerable, it is one of the wonderful qualities to break anybody down. I can be vulnerable and even my enemy will not be able to think negatively about me. So you can Google and see, those of you are interested, especially for leaders, Extraordinary leaders need to have vulnerability. It's the opposite of arrogance. And it can be a path breaker. It can break anything down, anybody's anger down. Involve people in decision making. If you see in our office, we involve people in many things. Like when we did the code of conduct, we involved first the partners, then the leaders, then the whole office, and what all communication you gave back, your concerns, etc. we considered. When we made the vision of the firm, at least 4 times we have changed the vision, considering inputs from junior leaders. Give all the credit for job well done. Take responsibility when things do not work out. If I am the manager, I should not say my junior has made the mistake. I will say I did not verify, I did not monitor properly. I should have done this a little bit earlier. Sorry. The fact is that it is because you trusted a junior. It doesn't matter. Then talk to the junior, again be empathetic. I might have pressurized you. That's why you did this in a hurry, things like that. So these are the ways in which you can, improve the empathy. One of the ways, one relevant thing I thought, I took this because this person, Andrew Carnegie, is one of the most, I would say, prolific and impactful author in motivation. And he says no person will make a great business who wants to do it all by himself. That means I'll say, no, if I delegate, that person won't do, etc., etc. And I want to take all the credit also. So he says, I will never be successful. The person who will be successful is who will delegate, train, motivate, supervise, and also give credit wherever it is due. And even if it is mildly due, give it. Look at quality. As far as we are concerned, very important for us in quality control, productivity of various people. Maybe time management itself is a very important aspect other than delegation. And of course, if you want to know about that, there is, I don't know whether there is a recording on this. Vignesh, can you check up whether there's a recording and share with everybody? If it is not there, there's an article on the on this particular aspect in the empowerment section. He would share with all of you. Sure, Vignesh?
Sir. Yes, sir. Sure, sir.
Yeah. Can our people focus? Say I am people focused. While client is the ultimate beneficiary, can I focus on the people who are involved, whether it's client's people, our own people? Can I focus on that to increase empathy? The answer, as per Andrew Carnegie, is a big yes. Shiv Khera, he says, winners do not do anything different. They just do it differently. So some of the things he suggests: reading motivational books, implementing and persevering, continuing great habits. Actually, in these great habits, I will say continuing empathy, increased empathy is what brings us good results, which would make you initially be known as an extraordinary professional, then well known, then a celebrity, and finally a legend. I have added a bit to what he said initially, which is winners do not do anything differently. They just different, but they do it differently. So the way we do it, if I do it empathetically, my success is guaranteed. That's what I mean to say. So can we differentiate ourselves is a question which I'm asking you by being empathetic. Now I would like everybody, each and everybody, to share what is that one thing you learned today which you will implement in your personal or professional life. Please put it in the chat. Vignesh would, collate all of that and share with all of us with names. Vignesh, you can do that?
Yes, sir, right.
Yeah, please put everybody who's there. Please put in the chat. If you're in a group, one by one, you put it so that we understand what is that you got today and which you are going to implement in your life. So we are getting very good answers. Give feedback, be vulnerable, being vulnerable, taking responsibility, not assuming others, what others are doing, going to respond until they finish, taking responsibility, acknowledge contribution of others. Fantastic. Please continue. And all of you can read what others are saying because it's so nice to read that itself. Gauri says empathy means including bearing sometimes. Yeah, could be. Give respect and take respect, being intuitive, not interrupting, listen more, to not stick to my beliefs, to have respectful conversation. Yes. Give credit where credit is due, listen completely, then take good. This seems to be a very nice session as far as I see. I have a small appointment, so I will take leave. And thank you very much for joining me and also sharing what contribution you made of your ideas, and also finally standing up and taking one thing which you are going to do. Of course, Ramya and others, some of you have taken two more. Ramya says appreciate others plus one more. Not assume what people say before listening. Good. Thank you very much. I will have to leave. So thank you very much.